This is Alcona County, a rural farming, fishing, and hunting community in northeast Michigan. Alcona has an abundance of natural resources, thousands and thousands of acres of affordable farmland, miles and miles of clean lakes, rivers, and streams, and our entire eastern border is on Lake Huron. Hi, I'm Judy McNeil from Farm to Fork, Alcona. I love Alcona County. I grew up here. My husband and I raised our children here. My two passions are to see Alcona County prosper, and as a dietitian, I want to see people eat healthy. My eyes were open to what Farm to Fork is when I started to go visit my daughter, who now lives in Oregon, and saw the whole farm to table movement, and discovered how delicious locally grown food is. I want to see the same thing here in Alcona. I think we have the opportunity, we have the resources, we just need to take advantage of that.
Since I was little, I've always wanted to live in a rural place and grow my own food and raise my family that way. So that was kind of a natural course that my life has always taken. I can speak from my generation's perspective. It's so beautiful up here, so quiet. The land is available.
To boost Alcona's economy, Inspiration Alcona, a local nonprofit organization, has initiated a campaign called Farm to Fork Alcona. Our intention is to attract visitors, foodies, young farmers, and budding entrepreneurs to our community by building our own Farm to Fork movement. It's a natural fit for Alcona without spoiling what is so special about our area.
So when we throw around these terms that are kind of catchy in the moment of like farm to fork and the local foods movement and slow foods, what does that mean to you from your place as a rooted farmer and chef in Alcona County?
That means that people are starting to eat real food again. They always used to say you don't want to go into the middle of the grocery store, you want to walk around the outside of it to get all that fresh food.
And you're on the real
We're on the
outside.
really outside edge of that. We're so outside, we're not even in the grocery store, man. People are coming to the farmer's market, they're buying local food, they're cooking it themselves, they're eating it, and then they're coming back to talk about it, and they're asking questions, they're really interested in it. That's a big change from a few years back.
So our whole purpose here is to help support Alcona County and improve the economy through the Farm to Fork movement. And we think that Alcona County is the perfect place to do that.
Yeah. And 84% of the food, the value of the food served tonight is from Alcona County and areas really close by. We're so happy with that.
Mm-hmm. And it smells delicious.
Fermentation is one of the most ancient and safest ways to preserve food. And so this predates pasteurization, and it's more nutritious and delicious. The easiest thing is just to use straight cabbage. Sometimes it's the finest. You can put in caraway seeds, juniper berries. There's a lot of traditional seeds and stuff you can put in there. The cabbage juices are starting to flow, and you're basically breaking those cell walls, and the bacteria are gonna be able to penetrate in there, and within days you're gonna have some sour cabbage already. And we're just packing it in there as tight as you can because it's anaerobic and you don't want any pockets of air. So listen, you can really pack it in there. And you can see all that liquid in there. Yeah, that's satisfied, thank you.
Got to see some old friends and meet some new people, and that's been probably the best part for me. It's just I like seeing what other people are doing, and just they do different stuff than we do, and we can all learn from each other. So.
Also, the food was excellent. I handed off to them for making it local to this area, so it was very delicious.
this is just an incredible time for Northeast Michigan as the local food movement starts to gain in experience and in people being introduced to that, and then just the whole concept of what that means to the local economy, as well as to what I would say community as a whole.
The biggest thing in this business is knowing that you're not alone. There's a tremendous amount of resources available, and it really just comes down to if you're ready to commit to doing some hard work, then let's go.
Our initial mission is to preserve Michigan farmland. So I think the only way that's going to happen is if farming can actually be a sustainable practice, if it can be a sustainable business model. And I think the more that we're kind of getting some new blood into farming, the more that's becoming a reality again.
One of the things that I really like to encourage young people is that when you're looking into farming, you need to understand what it is that the costs are to produce what you're producing. Whether that's vegetables, whether that's animals, whatever it is, you have to understand and look at it as a business. Because if you don't do that, then that's why a lot of farms end up going under, because we don't prepare our young people, our future farmers, to really analyze what their costs are, which includes what you need in order to raise a family on that income.
So in other words, they need to ask themselves the question, can I do this and make a living? Can I do this and make this work? If it's a hobby, that's a different story. But if it's a business, those tough business questions need to be addressed before they do anything else.
What's going on here?
We are having quite the time. We are almost sold out of our Farm to Fork Alcona brunch at the harbor. Hi. So yay us.
It's been a success. It's just been more successful than we anticipated.
The conventional story we hear about conservation is cast like an old Western. There are good guys and bad guys, and the plot line is always a fight, that the good guys have to defeat the bad guys. That's not the story of this book. The book is about 5 conservation heroes in the American heartland who are really representative of this huge but largely hidden conservation movement that is underway and growing. It unfolds as a journey down the Mississippi River, beginning with a cowboy named Dusty Crary up at the headwaters of the Missouri, and it finally ends up out in the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico with a red snapper fisherman named Wayne Werner. The people that I write about aren't outliers. I didn't go and find the exceptions to the rule out there. What I saw in every one of these communities were huge numbers of people absolutely committed to protecting the natural resources that America is built on. This is really the land that gave birth to all our national anthems. These are our mountain majesties and our fruited plains and our shining seas. I wanted to capture this reality that there are an enormous number of conservationists who are in these places we don't really expect to find them. These are the people on the front lines. They know exactly what the challenges are. They are facing them openly. They're talking about them openly. I fell in love with these families. I hope that readers will fall in love with these families, that they will be fascinated by the work that they do on the land and by the innovation that each one is involved in. That's not a story that really gets told. These are heroes that have remained unsung, and that's really why I wanted to write this book.